You are not suffering from a lack of strength. You are suffering from a surplus of predictability. You know the figure, the one who drains you without raising a fist, the one who leaves you depleted after a conversation that appeared benign on the surface. You label them toxic. You label them narcissistic. You tell yourself you see the trap. Yet the moment the latch clicks, you walk right in. You leave agitated. You leave lesser. This is not bad luck. This is extraction. These operators do not dominate through force. They dominate through access. Access to your emotional reflex. Access to your justifications. Access to your desperate need to be perceived as good. They do not need to break you. They only need you to function. You believe awareness is a weapon. It is not. Awareness without regulation is merely observation of your own defeat. You can diagnose the pathology perfectly and still lose the exchange if your nervous system remains porous. The enemy is not them. The enemy is your impulse to engage. 5 centuries ago, Niccolo Machiavelli dismantled power to its chassis. He did not concern himself with how men should act, but how they do act when leverage is available. He grasped a truth the modern mind rejects. Power is not influenced by intention. It is influenced by structure, and your structure is compromised. You have been conditioned to believe that explanation is strength, that defense is dignity, that silence is submission. These beliefs make you harvestable. What follows is a dismantling of that conditioning. It will not make you warmer. It will not make you understood. It will cost you the comfort of familiarity and the approval of those who only valued you when you were consumable. But by the end, you will be unprovocable. Not because you are forcing it, but because there is nothing left to grab. You do not defeat a parasite by wrestling it. You defeat it by starving it. The illusion of confrontation. You have been trained to equate confrontation with courage. It is actually exposure. When you confront a manipulator, you step onto terrain they have terraformed. You explain, you modulate your tone, you seek the perfect argument. You think you are fighting. In reality, you are mapping your vulnerabilities for them. You are showing them exactly where the buttons are and how hard they must be pressed. Conflict does not resolve leverage. It reveals it. The moment you defend yourself, you validate their authority to judge you. The moment you explain your emotions, you hand over the blueprints to your internal state. That access is the prize. They do not seek a resolution to the argument. They seek the pulse of the interaction. Anger, logic, tears, calm reasoning, it is all the same fuel. It confirms they matter. You think you won because you spoke your truth. You lost because you maintained the pattern. War is not won by dying on every hill. It is won by choosing the ground. Toxic people are apex predators within the chaotic churn of interaction. That is where they feed. Silence denies them the meal. Withdrawal denies them the battlefield. Confrontation keeps the circuit closed. Detachment cuts the wire. The mechanics of dependency. You believe they are the giants. This belief keeps you on your knees. You mistake volume for authority and aggression for strength. You see their certainty and assume hierarchy. You assume they are above you. They are not above you. They are orbiting you. Toxic systems are not independent engines. They are parasitic loops. They require a host. They need your attention, your resistance, and your output to maintain coherence. Without your reaction, they do not just fail, they dissolve. Look at the cycle without the sentiment. They poke, you jump, they escalate, you clarify. They retreat, you chase. The entire architecture relies on your participation. If you excise yourself from the sequence, the machine stops. That is not dominance, that is dependency. Machiavelli noted that authority reliant on the validation of others is fragile. True power does not beg to be acknowledged. Insecurity screams, power waits. The noise they produce is not confidence. It is the panic of a mechanism running out of fuel. When you withdraw, you do not become smaller. You become sovereign. Power invariably flows to the one who needs the least. The armor of silence. Silence unsettles you because it strips you of your role. You are conditioned to participate. When provoked, your biology screams to correct the record. Silence feels like a void, like a failure to perform. You must kill the belief that silence is a loss. Silence is the collapse of the trade. Manipulation is a game of sonar. It requires a ping-back to locate the target. When you speak, you confirm your position. When you explain, you confirm your susceptibility. Silence removes the signal. This is why your silence feels violent to them. They interpret it as an attack because it interrupts their supply chain. A system built on friction cannot function in a vacuum. It malfunctions. It overheats. You mistake silence for passivity. Machiavelli understood it as concealment. Unreadability is the ultimate defense. When you remain neutral, you deny entry. The fortress does not negotiate with the invader at the gate. It simply raises the bridge. Silence is not absence. It is containment. The strategy of opacity. You have been taught that vulnerability creates intimacy. With the wrong people, it creates inventory. Every fear you confess, every plan you outline, every doubt you whisper is data. You call it sharing. They call it ammunition. The belief that must be eradicated is that openness equals trust. Trust without boundaries is negligence. Information has weight. When you volunteer the truth to a manipulator, you shift the balance of gravity. Machiavelli warned against revealing the design before the victory is secured, not out of malice, but out of physics. Once your intentions are known, they can be countered. Your fatigue becomes a target. Your ambition becomes a threat. Stop narrating your life. Stop handing over the keys to your inner sanctum. Strategic ambiguity is not deception. It is fog. Fog denies the enemy a clear shot. When you stop broadcasting your internal state, you become impossible to calibrate against. Do not confuse warmth with access. You can be polite without being porous. The value of scarcity. You have been conditioned to believe availability is a virtue. It has made you cheap. You answer immediately. You accommodate. You are always reachable. You think this proves loyalty. It actually proves you are a guaranteed resource. And in the economics of power, what is abundant is exploited. What is scarce is hoarded. Access determines value. When you are always present, there is no incentive to respect the connection. There is only the incentive to consume it. When you withdraw, the dynamic recalibrates. Not because you ask for respect, but because the mechanics of supply and demand force it. Boundaries are not walls of anger. They are filters of worth. A vault does not apologize for being locked. It simply is. When you become difficult to reach, you trigger their fear of obsolescence. You reduce your dependency on their approval while increasing their uncertainty. This is not cruelty. It is the restoration of gravity, the extinction burst. When you stop playing, they will not quietly walk away. They will escalate. This is where most falter. You interpret their anger, their guilt-tripping, and their sudden crises as proof that you are wrong. You interpret the noise as danger. It is not danger. It is the sound of a system dying. Escalation is not a sign of their strength. It is a sign of their desperation. The parasite is realizing the host is detaching. First comes confusion, then accusation, then character assassination. They will try to trigger the old reflex. The belief you must hold is this: escalation is proof that your detachment is working. Do not correct the narrative. Do not defend your character. Do not manage their panic. The fortress does not debate the siege, it waits. Inefficient systems eventually collapse. Anger exhausts itself. Lies lose momentum without a reaction to stick to. When you remain unmoved, the storm burns itself out against the rock. The final state, sovereignty. You were told that distance is failure. You were told that to be disliked is to be wrong. These lies kept you obedient. Dislike is not a verdict, it is a boundary line. Power is rarely loved by those who can no longer exploit it. The silence you feel now is not loneliness. It is the return of your own energy. The pressure that used to crush you inward now pushes outward. You no longer ask who approves, you ask who has clearance. You have stopped performing. You have stopped defending. You have stopped feeding the beast. What remains is a quiet, deliberate unreachability. Most people will return to the noise. It is warmer there, it is familiar. But a few will remain in the quiet, the ones who do not need to be fed. You are no longer correcting the record. You are owning the terrain.